I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I giving financial advice. I'm sharing my biased opinion based off speculation. You should not take my opinion as financial advice, and you should always do your own research before making any investment. You should also understand the risks of investing. This is all speculative-based investing.
Today we're going to be going over why Bitcoin is going to be super big as the new bull markets and as this recent bull market is going to come through, and why the trends are saying this as well, guys. So make sure to watch the whole video. What's going on, guys? Kentucky here. Welcome back to a brand new cryptocurrency video. So today, before we get into the subject of the day, it's going to go over the markets, everything sitting at the moment. Right now, our market cap sitting at $262 billion with a 24-hour volume sitting at $60 billion and a Bitcoin DOM sitting at 70.9%. As you can see right now, most of the coins are on a little bit of a correction today. Nothing too crazy, with Bitcoin down 1%, Ethereum down 2%, and XRP down 1% as well. Looking into our biggest gainers, we have XMAX up 23%, Augur up 18%, Nexo up 5%, Cosmos up 3%, and Zcash up 2.4% as well. With our biggest losers being Energy down 21%, Bitcoin down 13%, Synthetics Network, interesting name, down 11%, Egretia down 11%, and Maker down 9% as well. So today, guys, the main topic is going to be about Bitcoin once again, as a lot of people are talking about Bitcoin and a lot of people are speculating about Bitcoin and where it is going to be in the future. So Bitcoin right now is sitting around $10,300, down close to 2% on the day, with a market cap sitting at $185 billion and a 24-hour volume sitting at $19 billion as well. As you can see, Bitcoin's still basically moving sideways ever since its high of around close to $13,000 or so. And a lot of people are speculating about Bitcoin and where the future holds for it. So as you guys know, a very, very popular graph, which is the Wall Street cheat sheet or psychology of a market cycle, basically shows us what people would think about when the market is going through, and it is very, very accurate in my opinion. So people are talking about where we are for the past couple of months or so, and obviously we are in a bear market, so we're going to be either here or right here as well. So after our bull market has finished and we were on the downtrend, I believe that our low of $3,000 for Bitcoin was at this low right here, and I think we have hit the bottom. I don't think we are going to get to these levels again, at least this cycle, and I think we are now starting into the disbelief to basically disbelief, basically number 2, where we start getting into hope. So what I believe is we have gone through this this cycle right here with this disbelief, where they say this is a suckers rally, and then we go into a bit of a correction, maybe down to 8,000 or so, to where we come back down here, and then says this rally will fail like others after we go down basically for another test to the bottom, and then we're gonna have a very hard breakthrough, and then we'll basically start our new bull market, which basically goes sideways for a bit, and then we start into a bull market cycle, which basically just goes from optimism to euphoria, and then we go back into the normal cycle. So a lot of people are talking about we are here right now. We are still maybe having a little bit of a correction, and then that's where it's going to start, maybe in the end of the year, end of 2019, close to the beginning of 2020 is where we were starting to get into hope, and then start into optimism as well, and start the actual bull market. And that is where people are talking about Bitcoin, and there are a couple of things backing that and stuff like that, but in my opinion, we are getting close there. I do believe we are at the second disbelief part, maybe, or at the end of this one, where we are on still on maybe a bit, we're gonna go a bit lower, but again, it just depends and see where it really takes us. But so we're gonna be talking about this article that I've seen float around YouTube, around the internet, everything like that. A lot of different YouTubers, everything like that, are talking about it. So, which is basically the Bitcoin's natural long-term power law corridor of growth, which is a very, very interesting article talked about by Harold Christopher Berger, which was done around two days ago. So with growing adoption of the cryptocurrency, its future price has been the subject of more and more speculation, and predictions are all over the board. And now with some cosmics like Nuri Rubini predicting a price of 0 within 5 years, whereas John McAfee has famously predicted a price of $1 million per Bitcoin by the end of 2020, and others have made predictions that fall within very wide range. So overall, Bitcoin's price has risen very quickly since its initial inception in 2009, and has also been subject to booms and busts, and the rapid rises and boom phases seem to encourage people like McAfee to make very optimistic predictions about the future price, whereas the busts seem to encourage some economists to predict the decline towards 0. And in this article, we look at the full price history of Bitcoin and see the Bitcoin's price evolution and how we understand it. So this is a very interesting type of graph and how they've made it. So what they basically did is that every year before is half of the cycle, we see this year. So for example, the first one was from 2009 to 2013. The next one was from 2013 to close to 2017. Next one from middle of 2016 all the way to the middle of 2020s. As you can see, basically the pattern that it goes on, and it basically just goes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and we're basically just halving basically the previous cycle in half, and that's where that really plays in. So Bitcoin spends half the time in each of the two bands. So as you can see, Bitcoin, for example, in this time frame, and this time frame spent half the time here and here because it's in the next band, and that's basically where it is, and that's basically where they're how they're speculating it, and how it's going to be going higher and higher ever since, and how it's going to become a little bit quicker and a little bit more compressed on the actual scale when going up in price. And as you can see, if we look at it just right here, as you can see, right when we get into more of the bottom green, and then we start going up from here, that's where we're gonna see Bitcoin go off. And basically these bands, if you guys didn't know, is the halving of Bitcoin. So that's where all our halvings are until 2041, which is the end of the halvings. And yeah, that's basically what they have here. So very interesting type of way to graph Bitcoin, in my opinion. I think it's pretty smart, and I think it does make sense. So basically explaining the model in their words. So this model allows us to make a broad prediction concerning the long-term future of Bitcoin. The price will reach 100,000 per Bitcoin no earlier than 2021 and no later than 2028. And after 2028, the price will never drop below $100,000. So guys, this is very, very interesting, basically saying that after 2028, basically saying that it is impossible for Bitcoin to drop below $100,000, and that is where we see 2028 right here, where we see Bitcoin go over $100,000, and basically where they say it's basically impossible for Bitcoin to go under that price range. And then after they go, the price will reach $1 million per Bitcoin no earlier than 2028 and no later than 2037, and will never drop below $1 million after that as well. And again, we talked about 2037, which is right here, which is the second last halving of the the third last halving, as the last one's the last, the third last halving of the Bitcoin history, which is in 2037. Then they continue saying, furthermore, we'll see the price corridor can be divided into two bands, and which would lie at the lower end of the price prediction is rather thin, and the other one being much larger and lying at the higher end prediction. And Bitcoin's price spends more equal amounts of time in both bands, and this implies that large bubbles and busts are likely to continue to exist, and the above predictions might seem very broad, but they are sufficiently precise to disagree with the prediction of some other people. And this price model should be also help determine good points to enter or leave the market, and I'm quite confident that in the long term the price will indeed evolve approximately as stated in the article. And in fact, I think it is more likely for those predictions to be too low rather than too high, and I believe that Bitcoin has more potential upside than downside to large exogenous shocks. But this article will not try to make any predictions regarding large exogenous shocks. Instead, we will assume that things continue as usual. So this is more of a long-term prediction. So what are we looking at for more of a short-term prediction for Bitcoin, and where can we see it go from here? Because, you know, people are talking about the next bull market, not the next 7 bull markets, if that makes sense. And that is where we get into Google Trends, and I think this is very, very big for Bitcoin, and what we're going to be seeing for it. So if we go back to the last 5 years or so, we will see this has basically gone up significantly from the last bull market. So again, this is only the term BTC, not Bitcoin, but if we just search up BTC, we could see the last bull market is basically insignificant to what we're starting to see here on the Google Trends, which is very interesting. It came out of nowhere. It's not like the market is blowing up or anything. It's actually the opposite. It's actually going down right now. So it's very interesting on why Google Trends is showing this. But if we were to search up Bitcoin and search where the Bitcoin thing is, as you can see, there has not been any movement here. But when we search up BTC, it is the total opposite. And we see a lot more going on, as you can see, from 30 right now sitting at 31. I don't know what this number, though, I guess like the search rank or something, but basically them predicting that it's going to go a lot higher. This striped line is basically their prediction. And yeah, so I'm not sure what's been going on, but as you can see, there has been a lot of stuff going on. So if we even search up Binance, for example, we'll see a breakout going through that. As you can see, these are a whole bunch of ones. If we go back to the previous page and look at them, even Ethereum, if we just put ETH, Okay, so that one isn't, but it says breakout here, so I'm not sure what that's about. But Binance, as well as you guys probably know, it is one of the biggest exchanges. But again, just BTC talking about that right now. As you can see, short term, as Google Trends and mainstream and exposure goes, it is going very well. As this goes, again, the price hasn't changed at all, but this is what the data is showing. So guys, definitely let me know your opinions and comments if you guys have any down in the comments below about the cheat sheet, where you guys think we're at, about this Bitcoin chart, about how it spends half the time in each of the two bands we have here, and finally the BTC Google Trends. So guys, let me know everything that you guys think down in the comments below. If you guys did enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I really hope you guys did enjoy the video. Like I said, if you guys did, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace out.